Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the welcome and introductions. Welcome, everybody. And if we just want to go around, I guess I have to call on people since everyone's screens are different. So we'll just start at the top in mine, which is Chloe.
Hello, I'm Chloe Aponte. I'm the project coordinator for Community Coalitions of Idaho, and I'm taking the minutes. So if I ask a question for clarification, that's why.
Awesome. And David, you're next.
Hi, my name is David Phillips. I am the Executive Director for Community Coalitions of Idaho.
Awesome. Madison?
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Madison Henning. I am actually an account manager with Tribute Media, and so I know we'll kind of get into this a little later, but I'm the middleman between community coalitions and Tribute.
What are you worried about? Well, straight now, Kate.
Awesome. And how about Lindsay?
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I'm the president of Tribute Media, and I'm just also here to contribute and answer some questions about the work that Tribute Media is doing with Community Coalitions of Idaho.
Awesome. And Grace?
Hey everyone, my name is Grace Wilkowski. I'm the new executive director for Idaho Drug Free. Thanks for having me.
Rebecca?
I'm Rebecca Sprague. I'm a project coordinator for Central District Health for our Partnerships for Success grant. And I'm also the prevention seat on the Region 4 Behavioral Health Board.
Awesome. Tara?
Hi everybody, Tara Woodward with Southwest District Health, and I am the project coordinator for Partnerships for Success for the region.
Kaylie?
Hi, I'm Kaylie, and I'm the Partnership for Success Regional Coordinator for Region 2.
Shannon?
Hi, I'm Shannon McKnight, and I'm the Executive Director at the Youth Advocacy Coalition.
Jeri?
Good morning, I'm Jeri Gowen. I'm the fiscal agent for the 2C Coalition in Canyon County and also the Clinical Director of Prevention Associates in Caldwell.
Awesome, thank you. Kendall?
Hello, everybody. I'm Kendall Nagy with the Meridian Anti-Drug Coalition and Substance Abuse Prevention Coordinator for the Meridian Police Department.
MaryAnn? MaryAnn, you're muted.
She might not be able to respond, she said, so you can move on.
Oh, okay. We'll go on to Jim.
I'm Jim Hopla. I'm evaluator with Community Coalitions of Idaho, and I also work with Bonneville Youth Development Council with David also. And yep.
Cool, thanks, Jim. Darren.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Darren Burrell with the Fremont County Race Coalition, and I also sit on Madison County's Community Coalition when I don't know if they're still in existence due to COVID, but yeah, it's good to be here today.
Awesome. Claudia.
Hey, good morning. My name is Claudia Coatney. I work for Southwest District Health, and I'm the project coordinator for the Drug Overdose Prevention Program.
And Rose. Oh, never mind. I don't think Rose is going to be on. All right, well, I am David Roth. I am the Executive Director of the Bonneville Youth Development Council in Idaho Falls, and I'm also on the board for CCI. So I'm just gonna read our mission statement really quick, and then if someone else can read the vision after that, we'll get a volunteer for that, and then we'll just go right into the agenda. So our mission is to support community coalitions' efforts to prevent youth substance abuse in Idaho. Wait, did someone want to read our vision statement?
I'll read it.
Thank you.
Our vision is a safe and healthy Idaho communities free of substance abuse.
Thank you. Moving on, did everybody have a chance to review the minutes from the previous meeting that Chloe sent out?
Yes.
Are there any additions or amendments to those? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
This is Kendall. Do we want to do the consent agenda, which would include the financial report as well?
Oh,
Or
Yeah,
separate?
we normally do it that way, David.
sorry. I just
That's
go item
no
by
worries.
item, what I'm used to. Fine, we'll do the financial report and then we can do that. That works fine as well. So David, did you want to take the financial report?
So the financial report was sent out on Friday. Did everybody get a copy of that? Does anybody have any questions about the financial report? Okay, so I think we're looking for a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda.
This is Kendall again. So I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I might be the only one left that can second it. That's on
No,
the call
there's-
right now.
Grace can, Darren can, Shannon
I
can.
second it.
Thanks,
Perfect,
Grace.
So Kendall moved and Grace seconded. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. So at this point, I think we get to turn it over to Tribute Media. Correct?
Yeah, so I wanted to introduce Tribute Media. So Tribute Media is our graphics contractor for this year. They're also helping us. We're using some carryover funds from last year's PFS DFC money to redo our website, make it a little more user-friendly, not so heavy, more searchable. So I asked Madison and Lindsay to come on and kind of share what they can do for coalitions. I know that Shannon has been introduced to them, and so has Kendall, because they both said they had projects coming up. And so Lindsay is the president, and Madison is our point of contact. She helps us with our account over there at Tribute Media. So pass it off to you guys.
Like I can chat, Lindsay can. Yeah, so I have actually started working with Kendall a little bit, but with community coalitions and kind of our contract with them, we do a lot of graphic work, whether that be flyers or social graphics, building newsletters. As David mentioned, we're working through the beginning portions of their website right now. But the Tribute Media team is, kind of more than willing to help all of the coalitions across, your guys' group and different areas to do graphics or any sort of work that you guys may need coming up. We've got a great team, both a couple of different designers as well as a couple different social media experts that are willing to, kind of bring in different aspects or give you guys a more clean, concise look, depending on what your needs are.
Yeah, and I think, Madison covered it pretty well. As she mentioned, we're a full service digital agency. So everything from website design to search engine optimization to the design and development of websites, social media, email marketing, that's all stuff that we can help with. So.
And what's been nice about working with Tribute Media is they have literally people that tackle different projects. Like if I hand Madison something that's more social media related as far as graphics, they have a couple people that can bang those out pretty quick. They have experts around that website arena very well. They're helping us with that. One of the things that I know Kendall said she noticed when we were talking at an MADC meeting was branding. So we've been going through and creating graphics for all of our YouTube videos, so they all look the same. They are easily identifiable as to what they are, and all of our the social graphics that we've been putting out, like on substances and stuff like that, they all have the same color scheme, same look, so you can very quickly tell that it's coming from Community Coalitions of Idaho. And so one of the things that I have done since Chloe and I started on the staff role here 2 years ago, just doesn't even feel like that long, is to open up this opportunity to the coalition, because the amount of money that we have to spend on this contract, CCI alone really can't spend it. So I know in the past, some of you have used Eric to create graphics and stuff and flyers and things for your coalitions. And one of the things that if your coalition is new, if your effort is still kind of in that infancy stage and you don't have branding and stuff, this is something that they could very easily help you out with. They helped us. I don't know how many of you guys have checked out the newsletter we've been putting out the last few months, but they basically helped us build out that entire template. They made it pretty easy for Chloe just to go in there and just plug in the information that we're looking for every single month. So yeah, it's just been really helpful. And I want to open that up to those of you who might need their help. It's there. All you have to do is let me know. I do a introductory email between the two of you, and they basically do the work for you and they bill us for it. So, which is really nice. So does anybody have any questions about graphics? Does anybody have any events coming up that they might need help on, so that we can kind of put that on the radar now while we have them sitting in the room with us for a few minutes? Feel free to unmute or put it in the chat and they can read it and they can answer your question. Shannon, do you have something?
I do. I have several things coming up very soon. One of the Hope Week. I don't know if anyone else for mental health awareness. Yeah, and then of course sober. And then there's one. Oh, we are doing a computer for kids thing with a high school girl is using it for her project and her Eagle Scout award. So I'm gonna need it would be nice to have some cool flyers for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You guys have already been introduced to Shannon, correct, Madison?
Yep. So Shannon, I can resend you an email if you've maybe lost that, but we'll get connected and see what we can't get you as far as like timelines and stuff like that go. David, I'll connect with you kind of offline too about like, you know, if she just has a quick thing, is that immediately approved, like budgeting? We can work that out if you need to, you know, run some approvals.
Okay, yeah, we'll connect on that later. So
but yeah, Shannon, I will reach out and we'll get started.
So it looks like Grace, I know Grace has the Idaho Youth Summit coming up. So yeah, Grace, if you need help with social graphics, I know your youth ambassadors have been doing some cool stuff. I've been watching them on Instagram and the stories. Your stories have been really fun. So whatchamacallit? Yeah, so I will connect you with Madison, and then that way you guys can start talking about your upcoming projects, and Madison will talk about budgets and stuff later on. But yeah, most of your smaller stuff is not a big deal. I know Kendall, you had a bigger project that you were asking them to look at, right?
Yeah, we met and I provided some content to help them put together a quote. And then I've since come up with an additional request, but I was I'll wait to get more guidance from you guys after you talk about what kind of approvals that needs to go through. We have a partnership with the Meridian Speedway, and we were brainstorming with our Natural High ambassadors, which are youth, and they were talking about having a sticker designed that represents our partnership with Natural High and the Speedway, and that could be kind of a swag type item, and perhaps it glows in the dark. None of that is my area of expertise, so any help with that would be awesome. That would be kind of a tag along request, but just let me know what the process is for that. I don't know the total availability of the resources, and I certainly want to be able to make sure that everybody throughout the state is able to use those.
Yeah, and so in full disclosure, I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head, I believe the DFC lets us allocate just about $10,000. I could be wrong, but it is a large amount, and we didn't even spend it. The 2 years that we're working with Eric, we didn't spend our full allotment. So it's pretty, I would love to spend that full allotment, because then that way I could spend my DFC money. So I'll kind of figure out with Madison kind of where we are, and then kind of look at some of these bigger projects. It is nice to know ahead of time. So if the board asks me, like this came up with one of our coalitions that did a partnership with, I believe it was like the Lions Club or something. Charlene at the time asked me for clarification, and I was just literally plugging membership with Eric to have him do the work. So it is nice to know ahead of time what the projects are, so that if if Sharon had any questions, I could very easily, quickly answer those, so that that invoice doesn't get held up. So, but does anybody else have any questions for Madison and Lindsay? I know they have to jump off here in a few minutes, but it will give you an opportunity to ask them questions. If not, we can totally plug you guys. I'll hook you guys up with them as you guys let me know that you have projects coming up. So.
You know, one other thought I had, I'll just kind of put the question out there. You know, I know Community Coalitions of Idaho is a 501c3, and I'm not sure how each of the other coalitions that are represented here are structured if they are 501c3s, but I don't know how that works when you're like through the city or Southwest District Health, whatever. But anyways, we can help with, if any of you have ever explored a Google Ads grant, that is something that we've, you know, been able to help other nonprofits with in the past. So Google Ads can be a little tricky. So it would have to be, you know, unfortunately, it's not something where like if Community Coalitions of Idaho is running an ad, it has to be directed to the CCI website property and so on and so forth with like individual coalitions, but maybe there's something there that we can do, especially David, as we head into the website design and that project, even if there is like a page, like a landing page or section of the website that we could use where other coalitions could be represented, and we could run, you know, Google Ads directed at that. So anyways, that was just something that was kind of, I thought of while we were here. So we may need to discuss what that looks like in more depth, but that is another area we could be helpful with.
And who all in here? I know, Marco, I know you guys are a 501c3, right? You guys are a nonprofit?
Yes, we are.
And David, you guys are, right, at BYDC? I believe most of us are. If not, they're attached somewhere. So that's actually a really good thing. I want to talk to you later, Lindsay, about what we can do with that. So yeah, go ahead, Shannon. Oh, you are too? Yeah, most of us are. So, but yeah, that's a really good idea, and that's come up before.
The Google Ad Grants is super, well, I shouldn't say super easy, but we have it and we're using it to drive through our events, and it also helps with the match. So we've been pretty happy with it.
Does anybody else have any questions for Lindsay or Madison? They're moving around on me, so I'm like,
where did we go?
Okay, well, thank you, Madison and Lindsay. It's been a joy working with you guys. You guys have made things so helpful, especially with especially give my thank you to your social graphics team, because you guys really pumped out some really cool stuff for us pretty quickly. I've asked for some kind of tight deadlines lately, and you guys have been pretty good at stuff. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to work with you guys, and yeah, hope to get to work with more of you here in the future. All right,
Awesome.
we'll hop off. Thank you so much for your time, and look forward to chatting more in the future.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Okay, so next on the agenda is our new business. First thing is we did come up with a new MOU with Jim. His MOU actually expired at the end of last year, and with CADCA forum and illness and other things, I am sad to say that it took us this long to address this issue, even though Jim has still been helping us out with stuff, which I really appreciate him jumping in there, even though we didn't have a current MOU with him. David, did you get a chance to see that MOU that I sent out to the board? Do you want to talk about that, since you're the only board member on right now? Rose is, I believe,
I'm going to be 100% honest. It may have slipped through.
Okay.
Let me look really quick though and see if I can find it.
while he's looking for that, the other issue is that Jim had not been putting out invoices for the last, let's see, we're in April's last 3 months because of being outside of that MOU. So one thing that I'm going to be asking in this new business is for a motion and a second to get Jim his back pay for the last 3 months that he didn't submit invoices, even though he was working. I mean, he helped us out with our report in February. He was very, very helpful with us at Forum. He was very active in making sure that we went to all the right workshops and trainings and really tried to approach things from a statewide level and things that fit our action plan. So I felt like it was very productive time in Washington, D.C., even though I came back with the flu, which was fun. But did you get a chance to find it, David?
I did. So it looks very similar to RM. Is there anything in particular that you wanted to call attention to that's different?
No, just some of the things that we did is we're making sure that quarterly Jim is updating on our action plan and what we've been doing. He is working more closely with the staff when we're planning out two training opportunities, one in June, one in October. And so as we are looking at who we're going to have trained at these two trainings, we are working with Jim to make sure that we're operating within the confines of our action plan, that we can actually deliver like measurable results kind of stuff. So the biggest things that Sharon had asked for when we had a chance to talk around this was quarterly reports and end year report, and really kind of what we did and how it benefited. So we kind of laid it there. And then with Chloe no longer being with us after the end of this month, I thought it was vital to make sure that Jim was taken care of, so that I would have someone else to lean on to make sure we were doing what the membership needed and what was a part of our action plan.
So this looks fine to me, but if I'm the only one on the call that has seen it, are we able to take a vote on that if that's what you're looking for, to approve this?
I'm not sure. Is this something we would have to put out and do at the May meeting?
I can speak to that a little bit. I just know that if I haven't seen something, I'm going to abstain from a vote.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm voting on. So
exactly. So I think I mean, the only other thing we could do, but this is probably not going to give people enough time to review it, is Chloe or someone could send it out now. It's one side of one page. It's not super complicated. And people could review it, and we could try to circle back.
I'd like to let people actually pay attention. Jim, do you have a problem with us getting this finalized at the next meeting? I know you're on the call.
Oh, no, I'm fine. If that's what we need to do and have people take a look at it, yeah, that's totally good.
Okay. So we'll add
let's make sure we get it out to everybody who would have to vote on it then, so that we don't run into this problem next month.
Okay, yeah. So Chloe will add that that'll be part of the minutes that go out. So next on the agenda is the CCI mini grant applications. Those of you who have submitted mini grant applications will be going over those Wednesday with Rose, and to make sure that you have the most important things to make sure you have to us is your survey and your membership, your membership packet. You also, if you can tell me your dues are on their way, that's fine. I know a couple people have fiscal agents. They do stuff through school districts and stuff like that, so they're not solely responsible for getting checks cut. But the survey and the membership packet are good for us because it shows us, the membership packet shows us any operational changes you might have undergone recently, updates, contacts for alternate representatives, lets us know if there's any committees that we currently have that you would like to be a part of. And then also the survey just kind of lets us know how we're doing for our membership here at CCI. So that survey is going to get revamped for next year. That's one of the things that I'm going to be working on with Jim, is making sure that we revamp that. I actually like a lot what MADC does with their survey for the membership, to see how they're doing, how they feel about the direction and stuff. If anybody else has a good membership survey that they think would be beneficial, feel free to send that my way. I would love to look at that, and I'd love to take bits and pieces of other successful surveys to make sure that we're asking the right questions. That's one of the hardest things that we've learned, is not always that you guys don't have the answers that we needed, so we're not asking the questions to get the answers that we need. So and then we are planning on, so June 6th and 7th at the Oxford Suites in Boise, we will be having our June law enforcement and prevention conference. It's going to look different than what some of you guys have been to in the past. The reason why it's going to look different is most of our law enforcement agencies are understaffed just like everybody else, so they really can't send staff out to attend training at this time. And then with COVID, a lot of the post stuff and even academies have been pulled into the agency themselves, so they don't even send people out necessarily for the bigger trainings as well. So, but we do have some really good training set up. I've been kind of building this while I'm promoting it at the same time. But it's because we saw so much going on in spring, I wasn't quite sure what to do with summer. And Sharon and I had a conversation, and she said that she felt like we should still have this opportunity this summer. We will still be having our fall prevention conference. That is almost completed in the planning stages. That is October 3rd and 4th, and that will be up in Moscow. We're going to try to get back up there again like we were supposed to last year before we had to move to virtual. But we're going to have Captain Doty from the alcohol beverage control. They're going to come out and do a training for us. Sergeant Chris Glenn, the DUI and drug recognition officers from Idaho State Police, they're going to be coming out to do a training for us around what it means to work with them, and what we're seeing with marijuana coming into the state, because we're surrounded by legalized states almost completely around us now. And then Dee Phillips, no relation, will be coming to do a 3-hour workshop that she normally does with the probation folks. She's a post trainer for corrections and probation, and she will be doing a training on us on how to kind of put our thought process around our population and how we address them and how we deal with them. I got a chance to see the PowerPoint and talk to her on Friday, and I'm super excited because I really feel like this is something that we need, especially Shannon, after coming out of that talk with Jack. It's really mind-blowing that some of the innovative things that are happening out there. Did you have something you wanted to add to that?
I do. Dee is my board chair, and I did IT the last time she presented this to all the officers in Idaho. And it's a really, really, really good presentation. She does it really well. It's very informative. You come out of it like, yeah, I can do this. I can talk to these families. I can treat everybody as an individual on different levels and stuff. And she has a lot of great insights. She tells her own backstory, and it's good.
So we're also trying, we'll have our meeting as well. So those of you who cannot join us for the training, you can Zoom in like normal, and we'll have you, we'll have a regular meeting. And then we're also gonna still kicking around some ideas for day 2. I know that Boise Police Department has a neat community outreach tool that I'm trying to get there. So if anybody has any ideas on trainings, I know that Sharon wanted me to reach out to DEA. MaryAnn sent me a DA contact. If anybody else has any good law enforcement ideas, feel free to speak now or send them to me later. So, and we will have, for those of you who are members, we will be paying for hotel rooms and paying for travel like normal. So, and then this is one I've been avoiding on the agenda, but Chloe's last day will be April 29th. She's been splitting herself in two for so long that for her own well-being, she's going to focus on family and her full-time job. Believe it or not, she was doing two jobs. So I personally just want to say in front of the world that I have been, as I've been preparing to be without Chloe, I'm learning how much she really did. I knew she did a lot, but there's little things behind the scenes. I'm like, oh, she does that too. So she and I are going to sit down after this meeting, and she's going to show me all the things that she's been doing so well, so that we don't miss her quite as much. If anybody does have anybody in your organization that is transitioning away from your organization for some reason, maybe they're moving and you can't have virtual employees or whatever. That's the nice part about the staff here is we are virtual home office. Chloe's in her home office. So if you've got any great people that are looking to stay in the world of prevention, please feel free to send them my way. And no, I did not get her resume, but that's not a big deal because Sharon wants to talk to the board about the position before we really officially fly it. So she's fine still if she hasn't gotten it to me, not a big deal. I'm hoping that irons itself out fast sooner rather than later, because I would love for the new person to be able to sit down and see a little bit of what Chloe actually does do here. And I will say she's made it the grant writing workshop that's going on right now is amazing, and is in large part to the work that she's done behind the scenes. I've actually had very little to do with this grant writing workshop, and she's done an amazing job. So I just want to thank her for all of her hard work and for giving us 2 years of her time, because it's been super beneficial. I get kudos every single time that people are experience something, especially in this digital landscape. She's been very helpful. So I know Kendall, she's taken minutes for MADC a couple times. I know that most of our workshops and meetings and stuff, she's behind the scenes just making sure that it goes as well as possible when it's done digitally. So even when we're in person, she's helpful in making sure that we have as few hiccups as possible. So next we'll move on to subcommittee reports. So workforce development and planning. Sylvia's not on, right? I don't see her. Okay, so we have been, she's been helping us get the mini training sessions. Like the one that we had today was kind of last minute because we had some scheduled conflicts last week. So Madison and Lindsay were, they obliged me to jump on and talk about their contracts with us. We do have the next couple of of mini training sessions figured out. We have, hold on, monthly meeting. Here we go. So we will have, looks like we'll have Desiree from Natural High. She'll be giving us a mini training on what the Natural High program has to offer in May. June is our prevention conference. And then Allie Shields from Idaho Lives Project will be our mini training session for July. So we just we're building these things in ahead of time so that we know what we're doing instead of just trying to throw things together at the last possible minute. And then we do have the webinars that we have going on. The grant writing workshop is spilled over into 2 months because we shorten the time, lengthen the sessions kind of thing. So in March and April, we're having the grant writing workshop, which is going well. And then we're moving forward to look for what we're going to do for the summer. She's also been helpful in helping kind of put together the pieces for the 2 workshops coming up. So internal organization, that is Sharon's, and she's not here. And I don't think anybody else is on that with her, are they? Okay. Kendall, you want to give an update on legislative committee?
You bet. I'd love to. Let me start by saying thank you again, Chloe, for everything that you've done. You've been a bright light to the coalition. It's been fun to have you. And then Marco, you as well. Great work during the legislative session. Year 2 for you, I think, if that's accurate. So a little bit, you knew a little bit more of what you're getting yourself into and apply some more skills. So we appreciate all your work. I have a list ready to go. I'm just gonna ramble this off. And then if others have questions or something to add, I'm happy to hear that. The Nabiximol and Tobacco 21 and Tobacco 21 regulations and the age bill, there were 2 separate bills there. Those were all signed by the governor. The age to serve liquor, that died in the House State Affairs. And then the bill relating to opioid funding was delivered to the governor. So those were the bills that I kind of watched closely throughout the session for Idaho. At the federal level, I'm keeping an eye on the MORE Act that has passed the House side. And then I was seeing some stuff when I was checking media this morning that Oregon, I'm not even sure, I need to look at the details. I saw it right before the meeting. Oregon's THC levels and limits are now going to go from 50 milligrams to 100 milligrams. So that'll obviously have an impact on us with them being a neighboring state. So I was going to look into that some more. And then as we look ahead to the next session, I mentioned this at our last meeting, wanting to gather interest and contacts to look at the prohibiting commercial promotion or advertisement of controlled substances. That was Senate Bill 1218 that was introduced in 2021, and seeing if we can generate interest to that. I'm fielding more and more calls of concerned community members, seeing places that are advertising CBD or also the dispensaries in Oregon and how they're advertising here. I know there's a lot of that up in northern Idaho. So we really should rally together. It's a great legislative effort or policy effort for CCI to play an active role and lead in. So, any thoughts or anything, it would be great if you could reach out to myself and David so we can start to have those conversations. And then also that I mentioned last meeting is any thank yous or people that really stood out as far as their prevention advocacy during the session. We would love to send them a thank you. So I'm putting together those as well. Oh, one more thing. And then if we think that we might do a legislative education session, that we tried to kind of do this session, but we got a late start on that. We really should start planning that in August. So I'm saying that way far ahead because I know there's always changes in staff and leadership and whatnot, but I just want to put that on the radar that that's something that has to take place really early to begin those initial planning stages in order for it to be a success. So does anybody else have anything or any questions?
Did you want to talk a little bit, Marco, about how the session kind of wrapped up and how you feel coming from the prevention aspect?
Well, I was going to say there's 3 different areas of potential funding for the future that's really getting looked at. One of them is in that opioid settlement dollars. I'm going to advocate for some of that money to go over to ODP for prevention specific, because here's what happens. Everybody writes a policy and they just take all the money that they want for whatever random government project. And so I want to get it going where it belongs. So that's a huge piece to put in policy from day one. So I'm going to work with the Behavioral Health Planning Council, make sure that that happens. Then the Millennium Funds this year, they pulled out $3.5 million of previous money that was going specific to Medicaid. I wrote them a list of over 19 things that I thought they should invest in. And one of them was put money directly into primary prevention, again, related to the tobacco funding. And instead of, even though they have some really good initiatives going, I also asked them to kind of pay attention to their media campaigns and do a study and see if they're working. And then if they're not, to really revamp them and put youth involved and get more involvement there. With Idaho Drug for Youth, I asked them to specifically put money in there for their events, because it's a statewide kind of approach to some of the things that we do. And it wasn't a ton of money, but enough to, there's all these things that go on in the state that not all the committee members are aware of. And so I just make suggestions and they can do whatever they want, but they did cut $3.5 million, which was the exact amount I sent to them in my suggestions. So it was kind of ironic. I was like, oh, good. We'll see what you guys do in the next year. And then also there's the liquor division funds. If you notice this year, they pulled $1 million out of liquor funds specific to fund post training and some of the things they do with post. And last year I was one of the few that voted against that because I was upset that they're getting all this money going all these areas and none of it was for primary prevention of alcohol prevention. And so I said, it's unacceptable that we continue to have policies. So I think if we work together, we could probably write a good policy and some fellow legislators can carry that. So that way it's not me carrying it. Doesn't look biased. I'm not really, but I just am advocating for the money to go where it belongs. If you're going to tax people for liquor, some of that should go to help stop youth drinking, right? And programs related to that. So I think that $1 million, if we pull our own $1 million from that, they had 100 and I can't remember. I remember Dave and I were talking. It was like 135 million or 125 million this year. Last year it was 95 million. So the number's been going up steadily every year. There's plenty of money in that fund to pull $1 million and put it towards sustaining coalition work and some of the salaries of the people who work in this business and keep you around for the next 15, 20 years and focus on those funds where they belong. So I just advocate. I'm not on any of the committees, so I tell my colleagues and say, hey, and then they come to me and we have a lot of conversations about their, primary prevention. Not very many of the legislators understand upstream prevention, as you saw with the library bill was one example where they were trying to, stop children pornography through the libraries. And I yelled at them. I actually did. I got very angry. I said, listen, this is where your problem is. These devices. And you guys want to talk about really making a difference. I said, let's do it. There was a couple bills proposed to help block some of those issues on these, and they didn't go anywhere. They didn't move anywhere forward in the Senate. So I told them, if you guys are going to be serious about this and you want to you go upstream where the problem really is, if you want to help families and youth in our state to stay away from the pornography, the issue was not the libraries. And so I don't know, sometimes we get a little political in those conversations, but I get frustrated when people are, down there, downstream working where it's not the cause of the problem. And so I just know I'm your advocate there. You can call me anytime during the session. I'm always available, mostly through text messages because it's hard to get me on the phone or know which committee I'm in or where I'm at, but I'm always able to communicate with you guys through that. If you need something, you let me know. There's a high likelihood that I'll be involved in leadership next year with the Health and Welfare Committee. It's an internal political game that gets played to put people in chairmanships, but I'm kind of the front runner right now. So that's a big deal for us in future marijuana policy and blocking that. So it's just, we'll see what happens. It all comes down to who gets to be the next Speaker of the House and they'll make committees, but there's already people making promises, and it's interesting at this time of year because I'm going to be back for sure. I'm automatically back without having an opponent. It really made it a little easier to focus on some good stuff for next session. So if you got, I'm happy to work with you right now and do any work we can do.
Thanks, Marco. I really appreciate you. He's not lying. I text him all the time about bills and about different members, like this member's carrying this bill, what's behind this kind of thing. And he's really able to break down good information. And if people don't get a hold of you, he's really good at letting them know you're trying to get a hold of them. I've gotten a few phone calls taken where they wouldn't take them before. So he's been amazing. You, Scott Grow, and some of the others have just been diehard advocates for us, and really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I can walk out to that senator that you need to reach and say, hey, this person's trying to get a hold of you, call him back. I did that a couple times for Dave because he got cut off on a conversation he was having about some of those tobacco legislation. So that kind of stuff, you guys can contact me and I'll make sure you get connected to the right people.
So I really want to thank Kendall and Marco too, because we have and David, we have a very strong legislative committee because of the work they do. And it's funny to watch when the legislative committee all comes together. It's there's so many different personalities and so many different perspectives that it's neat to see them talk through things. So it's fun. I'm a political nerd, so it's fun for me.
We get along really fine, surprisingly. We're all adults, so we do great work together.
It's our very own bipartisan committee.
It's very true. It's bipartisan. If you see this session, I worked really close with a lot of the Democrats on some part. We made it purposely bipartisan. We solidly worked together. I think that's important. We need more of that in this group. So when you're looking at your next set of candidates, make sure that people can work with the opposition party and work with their colleagues and not be extreme. And that's the key. Idaho needs to just use our rational skills a little bit more. And we're not going to agree on every issue. That's normal. But being a team and working together, because what's cool is, the Dems would come to me and go, "Oh, you're normally with us on this one, are you?" And I'm like, "Not today." And they're like, "All right, we'll forgive you if you're with us on this one." And that's really kind of how it works. We have a good bantering and friendships, and we have to keep that. When they're the other side and they're just so extreme, it's hard to work with people. They don't really care about what's good for the state. They focus on their agenda, and that's not how good politicians work. So anyway, just so you know, in your districts, when you're promoting the candidates, look at that if you would. It will help us in Idaho very much.
Awesome. So the last committee is the networking and membership. Do you want to talk a little bit about the Chloe, the what am I trying to say? Newsletter. There we go. Phew.
Yeah. Excuse me. Our newsletter has been going out, which is great. Let me know if there are other people that you work with in your region that you would like to add to that list of people receiving it. We can go into our system and add as many people as we really want to. So if there are others that that would benefit from receiving that, please let me know. Part of that was the membership renewal and application that David kind of spoke to a little bit earlier, as well as the needs assessment survey. Those two things are really important for CCI to be able to gather that needs assessment data, but also for membership, for you guys to be involved in our meetings and be able to vote and kind of have input on a statewide level is so important. So please, if you haven't already done that for 2022, get those two things in. And those are, as David said, kind of precursor steps to applying for our mini grants as well. So make sure you're doing that if you haven't yet, both of those things. I think that's really all I have. David, do you have anything else to add to either of those things?
No, just if anybody's interested in joining, you guys kind of all heard the 4 main committees that we have for right now. If any of them sound interesting to you, please feel free to let me know. and I can hook you up with whoever heads that committee. As those people normally are the ones addressing. I know we have Kendall with legislative, Sharon with internal, Sylvia is the workforce development, and Daphne, I haven't seen her in a while. Jeri, do you know if Daphne's lean on time and can't come, or we have her listed as the lead on the on this last committee?
I think Daph just gets clients scheduled, and she, because I know she plans on attending, and then she'll say, oh, they scheduled a client for me. So I'll have to talk to her about if I can help somehow.
Okay, if you would like to, I mean, especially because it sounds like you're back for a while, if you want to tag team that with Daphne, just let me know, and we can we can put you both on there. That way, if one's here, not the other. So okay, so let's go to our region representatives, and we have a new region representative. Grace, how do you say your last name?
It's Wilkowski, like Mike Wazowski, Grace Wilkowski. That's me, in case you're wondering.
So why don't you introduce yourself to the meeting and let us know what's going on in Region 1.
Oh, sure. So my name is Grace Wilkowski. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the executive director for Idaho Drug-Free Youth. I promise I'll be around for a little bit. I signed a lease, so at least I'm here for a year. And so things that are happening in Region 1, I was not able to connect with the other Region 1 coalitions at this time. We just had some scheduling stuff, so hopefully that'll all be worked out by next time. Right now, I know for Idaho Drug-Free Youth, we have our Idaho Youth Summit coming up. That will be in June 14th through 17th. Applications are now open for campers. And if you're interested in sponsoring campers, just send me an email and we can figure that out. And I can all send more information if anyone's super interested. It's also all on our website. We also are using our Youth Vision campaign and program. It's all social media based right now. So our Instagram, as David mentioned, is very fun to look at. And it's a positive social norms campaign ran by college age students right now. So they're all Idaho based, building it for the youth. And then the second phase of it will be building an AI program so kids can go, and if they have a question around substance use, or they hear like, oh, I heard that vaping, there's vapes without nicotine in it. They could like put it in the little AI and it would be like, you're wrong. Here's the truth. And here's some age appropriate answers. And so that will be something that's coming later. Our applications for the next round of Youth Vision Ambassadors will be opening in May. So if you're interested, we'll be moving down to 2 ambassadors, just 18 up, really 18 to 30 is good with us. And they'll do 20 hours a week, we'll pay them, and then they'll travel around and do really fun stuff. And then that's as much as I know what's happening. Tawny, do you have any other things happening with Kootenai County?
You're muted if you're trying to talk, Tony. Okay.
We're gonna take that as a no. I'll connect with her. And I know I talk really fast, so if you have any questions, just let me know.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Grace.
Thank you.
Is Kelly on? Okay. Jeri.
Okay, hi there, real quick. I'm just getting back from snowbirding, but we've been doing a lot of coalition meetings, and we're really excited to get together with Tara and Dawn and Daphne, and David and I are going to have a strategic meeting coming up here in a while and get us all lined out. And we're just trying to figure out if we want to stay the size that we are, or if we want to go bigger, and what that would mean, and what we would need to do with matching funds and that whole thing. So we're basically just getting lined out for our annual events that we do. We got our grant in, and I'll have a lot more to say after our strategic planning meeting with Southwest District Health and David of CCI. So thank you, David.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to help you guys. It's easy too, because I'm so close, so I can be more involved. Shannon.
So as far as YAC goes, we're busy working on our Hope Week, which I don't know if any of you guys acknowledge that it's healthy outcomes from positive experiences, and it's through the Idaho Resiliency Project. If any of you guys have heard about that, the community resiliency model. So it's very similar to what 2C Kids just did 2 weeks ago. And I don't know if you guys saw their campaign as well. Anyway, so we've been working hard on that. And May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And one of my board members is in mental health awareness for St. Luke's. So we are bringing some Michael Bradley webinars to Valley County. Maybe, we haven't decided yet, but if you guys did the Amazing Adolescent Brain one that he put on a couple of weeks ago, and then they talked about his book. So we're hoping to do the one related to teens, and then possibly the pandemic within the pandemic he also has, which is really good. And then if you know what the community resiliency model is, there's a woman out of Sun Valley that does a lot of work for Idaho with it. Her name is Lori Strand, and she's going to do a 1-hour webinar for parents. And then we're bringing her here in June to do a 2-day training for, we're hoping for all the coaches, because we have a lot of coaches around here. We have a million club sports, and then coaches, because we think June's a bad time to hit teachers. So we're gonna, we'll bring it back again later on in the year to do teachers. Yeah, so I think if you guys are not aware of the Hope Week, it is a pretty cool thing. And Optum Idaho is giving out free kites to everybody. And we're also getting free bracelets for the kids. That say, I believe they say you matter, apostrophe, you are wanted. Something to that effect for all the youth. And then Kendall said she sent her update in. She filled out the thing, which I keep forgetting to do. So I don't have her update.
Kendall, do you want to talk about what you?
I can just give a quick, I kind of went backwards, I guess, instead of forwards, but we had some good media coverage through KTVB for Alcohol, Drugs, and Drug and Alcohol Facts Week for that national campaign. So that was great. And then we just conducted some alcohol compliance check and shoulder tap operations. April is Alcohol Awareness Month. We have our prescription take back scheduled for the 30th. There's a remote possibility that the governor might be there. I got a call from ODP last week, so we keep our fingers crossed for that. And then we'll have a video that will be produced for Mental Health Awareness Month, and some resources that we have available with the campaign that we're running out of the police department here. That's it.
Awesome, thank you guys. So we don't 5, 6. Did Marco take off? Is Marco still here?
He had to go.
He had to go. Okay. So looks like we'll move into our PFS coordinators. Don't have anyone here for Region 1. Rebecca told us they did hire somebody, so we're making sure.
David, do you want to have David with BYDC talk about his
Can you
coalition?
give us an update on what you guys are doing in Region 7, David? Where'd he go? There he is.
Got kicked off. Sorry, someone started to say my name.
Do you want to give us an update on what you guys are doing with BYDC in Region 7, since you're the only one?
Sure. We have got our drug take back day on April 30th. Donuts for drugs. The donuts come individually wrapped. They're already here. So that's pretty cool. And we've got, so we're hoping that that'll be super successful again. Also, I'll be reaching out to Katie Wiseman to get the final okay on. We do a sticker shock campaign, usually in May, to try to coincide around high school graduation, to remind adults not to buy liquor for graduation parties. And we always design our own stickers. They're usually kind of fun. This year, we've been working with our designer to come up with this idea that talking about the fines and penalties for it, and something along the lines of college is expensive, so save $1,000 by not buying alcohol for your child's graduation party. So something like that, that's kind of catchy, or like save $1,000 by not providing alcohol to minors. And so something that'll be catchy along those lines. We're partnering with the junior Civitans in our area to do that. Last time we did it, we partnered with the Scouts, so we try to move around a little bit. And then we're working on our youth, our Paramount event that we do in June. We're still trying to get a speaker lined up for that. That'll be good. And then we're really doing a lot of our drug trends education, hauling our trailer around. And we're in the process of creating a professional development program utilizing that trailer and the same resources. So lots of fun things going on there. And we're finishing up. We piloted a program in the elementary schools this year, and we're, I think, in our last set of sessions on that. So that's been fun. An anti-vaping program. Scary thing, we're teaching it currently to 6th graders, and the feedback from the school counselors has been that's too late. We need to reach them earlier. And so when we ask, well, when do you think we should be doing it? And they're here like 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, maybe. And unfortunately, our curriculum is only evidence-based to 5th grade. So we're definitely going to move back there. But it was scary to hear that that's where they're already starting to see problems. So that's what we're working on. Marco, I think, has dropped off. I'm sure that Sia, I know they're doing their strengthening family stuff, and they've got so much going on over there. So they're really a great organization in town. So I don't think I've missed anything.
Thanks for stepping in and giving us that update. Is Kaylie still on? It's time for the PFS.
Yeah, I can give you my PFS updates. Right now I'm working on getting some of our binge drinking and No Thanks I'll Walk campaign materials out during Alcohol Awareness Month. And we're trying to get some coffee sleeves with some similar messaging out there. Our Lock Monitor Dispose campaign kind of materials and brochures are still out there. And we're working on getting a sticker shock campaign started with the pharmacies. So it'd be a sticker on the pharmacy bags reminding you to keep your prescriptions locked up and monitoring them, and then information of how to get proper disposal of your medications if you don't use them all.
Awesome, thank you. Tara?
Hi, everybody. Right now we're working on finalizing a few different sub-grants for a few different projects. So hopefully having a positive action training, a virtual one, but concentrated in the Payette County area with a counseling group up there. And then hopefully also inviting some other community partners to that. Becca and I are bringing an expert trainer to town. So we have some of those coming up with a few different organizations in mid-April. So excited about that. There's been some community interest, which is exciting. We're still finalizing an agreement, but working with someone up in New Meadows, thanks to Shannon, to work on the Planet Youth model up there in the New Meadows area. And then we just had someone trained in youth mental health first aid who's hopefully going to be doing some of those trainings regionally. And then the CRM training that Shannon was talking about, we provided some scholarships for some regional youth serving individuals to attend that training last week. So looking forward to hearing feedback from them on that training. And then, yeah, I think those are the big things. So lots going on.
Thanks, Tara. Rebecca?
Thank you. So similar to Tara, we're working with Shannon as well. We're doing a slightly different methodology, and we just are doing a sub-grant with YAC directly, but they can hire a staff person to help with the Planet Youth up there. So that's great. That should be finalized soon. This Friday is the last of my mental health first aid sessions that I've scheduled with Optum. So this one will be a youth one. So we've had 4 total for the whole year. So that's exciting to get that wrapped up. The last one was mid-May, mid-March, sorry. I don't remember the exact date, but we had almost a full class. So that's great. We have been able to offer scholarships to, I think, 7 or 8 professionals to go to the Prevention and Support Conference, which is going to be in person in Boise this year. So that's exciting. I'll be there in person, which I'm really looking forward to. And we've got a couple of people who have also requested scholarships for ICADD as well. And CDH PFS will have a table at ICADD this year too. So if anybody's there, stop by. And then Tara mentioned the expert trainings, which has been great to work with her, getting the trainer Jim brought over from Bend. And then I think the biggest thing that I'm excited about is we held our very first Boise County Health Coalition meeting in March. So we had 6 people attend. Most of them were associated with the schools in Boise County. We did have somebody who was an emergency responder. We're having another meeting this Friday, and we have one scheduled, next Friday, and we have one scheduled for May. So the word's getting out there, and there's a lot of interest, and hoping we can get Boise set up to be able to apply for DFC in one of the cycles. That's the hope. So that's it for me.
Awesome. Well, that's cool to hear for Boise. I know Kendall and I talked for a while about why there wasn't something else in this area, because we're so big and one coalition can't do it all. So it's amazing to see the 2C doing so well. We have amazing PFS coordinators helping to plug very strategic gaps. And now with this Boise County one, I'm very happy. Kendall can tell you later, I was literally ready to make a Treasure Valley coalition when I first started here. So I'm like, why are we missing so many people? Is MaryAnn still on? I don't think so. No. I think Chessie's not here. Mallory, you want to give us your update?
Yes, I would be happy to. So we're working on a couple things. The drug take back as well. We're aware of that. We're going to partner with BYDC to provide lock boxes and work on that lock monitor dispose campaign. And then David, I like the idea of the stickers that you're working on. Those sound very catchy, but just in case those don't come in time, we do have these available. It says underage drinking, it's against the law, and just a little 21. So if this is something that you need in the meantime or want, we're happy to provide those in case your stickers don't come in time. So that's available. And then we are just working on some other things. We're trying to get some alcohol testers into some of our more rural schools so that they can kind of test the substances that they're finding and actually confirm that it is alcohol, and then they can decide what to do with it instead of just the sniff test. So we're hoping to kind of provide that as a resource, and we're working on a community event. And we are providing scholarships to the Idaho Prevention and Support Conference. So if there's anyone from our region on this call, so like Chloe, Darren, David, Jim, we have a couple more of those scholarship opportunities available. And that is the one that Rebecca was talking about as well. It's April 11th through 12th up in Boise. We can provide virtual registration as well as in-person registration and lodging. So let me know if you're interested in that. So those are just some of the things that we're doing here. And we have a DITEP training planned for next month. So we're excited for that.
Hey, Mallory, do you guys have any scholarships for ICADD? I know I've had a few people from Region 7 asking about that.
Yes, so we had it sent out to someone, we closed it. We're letting those who got the scholarships know today, and then we're going to take a look at our funding, see how much we have left, and put out another thing for it.
Can you let me
for
know,
ICADD.
can you let me know when that other opportunity goes out so that I can make sure these people
Yes.
are
It
made
should
aware?
go out tomorrow because I know we only have like 11 days to sign up for ICADD before registration closes. And so we are working on getting that. But yes, so we had one scholarship opportunity, kind of more to a targeted population that we chose to pick with the Region 7 Behavioral Health Board, and that one's now closed. So we'll inform them today, and then hopefully by tomorrow we can have that other one pushed out. And I will definitely make sure to send that to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Mallory. Darren, do you want to talk about ICADD? It's come up a couple of times. It's on the agenda.
Yeah, sure. I can do that. I'll do my best, at least. I don't know if anyone has any specific questions, but ICADD will be May. There is a pre-conference. The regular conference is May 10th, which is a Tuesday, through Thursday, most of the day on Thursday. I think it finishes up 1:30 or 2 on Thursday. There is a pre-conference on Monday. It is very strong in the prevention offerings. Sylvia helped previously put some things together. MaryAnn with ODP and also Charlene with ODP are also on the board. So the prevention world will be represented in a pretty strong way this year at the conference. It's our first conference, in-person ICADD conference since 2019. So 3 years ago. It's kind of hard to believe, and it will be at Boise State. No masks will be required at this point unless you choose to wear one. Masks won't be required to attend. So we're looking forward to providing the conference. We're looking forward to seeing everyone in person. I hope that maybe some of you will bring a little to put around your face so I will recognize you, because I don't know what you would look like in person other than just being inside a box. So we're super excited for ICADD this year. David, are there specific questions that I might be able to answer?
So I know some of the questions I've gotten is, and I haven't looked at the website since last week, but registration is active, right? Is there a deadline for registration?
So Mallory just addressed it really quick. I can pull it up and look. I think we're coming close to the deadline. There is a walk-up opportunity for registration, so you can walk up. If you go to attendicadd.com, it will bring up registration options, and I'm there right now. So early bird registration was through March 24th.
I believe it's April 15th, Darren.
Okay, yeah, there it is. So it's April 15th. So, and the reason why they need to, once you register, they need to we need to decide on room assignments, and registering helps us to kind of know which rooms, the larger rooms will obviously be allocated to those workshops where more people are registering for those. So that's why it's super important, because we're working right now with Boise State. We've already secured the contract and we have all of the rooms, but we just need to know who's going where. So that's why there is a deadline. Now you can always register later. There is a walk-up registration opportunity if you don't, but it's a little bit higher, a little more expensive to do that. So does that make sense, David?
Yeah. And what I wanted to know, I know that people are dropping off because we're getting kind of close to the end of the meeting, but is there anybody who's in the meeting right now who's already signed up for ICADD? Mallory, I know Rebecca said she's going to be there, so I see her thumb. Is there anybody not going because they can't afford it? It's what we're wondering is if anyone's seeking out scholarships to attend ICADD. That came up a couple times. So
I won't be there because I'm going to be in Disneyland with my kids, which is probably going to be almost as fun as ICADD.
I don't know. It's gonna be a whole heck of a lot more crowded.
No, because they're still restricting access.
Oh, are they?
35% capacity.
Shannon, you put your thumb up. Does that mean that scholarship would be helpful for you?
Yeah, so scholarship, I don't think we have any training money right now. And even if we did, I just hired somebody new who doesn't have any background or training. So if I could find some money on one of us, for sure would need a scholarship. There's no way we could afford to send both of us.
So CCI's budget is very travel heavy, and it is a lot of the money built in is to pay for travel and training to our conferences. And because we've pared down from 3 to 2, there is money to do some scholarships. And if there's only a handful that would need it, especially if you have a new staff member, Shannon, I would love to. So David, can we, since it's on the agenda, can we do this to get a couple of these people in at ICADD? I just want to make sure that I don't overstep.
You mean like, can we vote to approve some scholarships?
Yeah.
I guess I don't see why not.
We normally do one scholarship per coalition, and I think we're at 13 member coalitions. So
okay. I mean, if that's what we've done in the past, I certainly would entertain a motion to approve those scholarships. But I don't hear said motion.
Grace, Darren, Shannon, Kendall, Jeri.
Motion.
Make the motion, Grace.
Yes, we have Grace moved and Jeri seconded. All those in favor of opening up scholarships for one per. Oh, I guess we should ask for discussion first before we vote. Is there any discussion?
I was gonna ask for really a quick discussion. I was trying to remember, and Kendall, you may remember this. Are we subject to open meeting laws? And if we are, that would probably limit us, at least this meeting. We could set up another meeting before the deadline of registrations, but I don't know if the open meeting laws apply to CCI. I can't remember what our previous.
I'm not sure. My most recent research into that, which I have not dived all the way into that, would be that because it's a nonprofit, not a government entity, that no.
Okay.
Does that sound accurate, David Phillips?
Yes, that's
okay.
Good
question though, Darren.
The most recent update to our bylaws kind of a little bit clarified that for us.
Yeah, I think usually they say we try to follow the open. I mean, I know at BYDC, our bylaws say we attempt to follow or use that as a guide, the open meeting laws, and try to be as open as possible, but we are not bound to them because we are a private organization.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know if you utilize sometimes public money, whether it's behavioral health, sometimes that could muddy the waters a little bit, but that's okay. Thank you.
And we did put on there who's going and looking at and talking about scholarships. So I've done my best to cover all the sides as well. So, but thanks, Darren, for that.
Well, and the reality is if we want to offer a scholarship for people to go to ICADD, we either need to decide it at this meeting or it would be irrelevant. Because the next meeting would be too close. It would be past the registration period. So I think in all fairness, really the discussion we want to do is, do we want to offer scholarships? Do we feel like that's part of what CCI has done and should be doing? And if so, we should just go ahead and make the decision to do that. How much, and I'm sorry, I probably know this, how much are the registrations? Isn't it like 425 or something like that?
95,
What?
395.
So 390.
$395 for the 4-day rate. So that would include pre-conference if someone would just be attending the 3 days. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's 360.
360 times 13. At most, we would be spending 4,680. And not everyone, well, I assume probably every coalition would take advantage of it. So, but that's, now, David, does that sound like that would fit into our travel and training budget?
Yes.
Did anyone else have any thoughts to share?
I just wondered if you need to include hotel or any accommodations, because some people can't afford, even if you cover registration, they can't afford to travel there and get a hotel.
Yeah, that's my question. What are we voting on? Probably those in Region 4 obviously would require less money, so likely just the conference registration. But your people that travel down from North Idaho or Southeast Idaho, are you talking about covering lodging, also travel? What is the thoughts? What are the thoughts?
So the motion on the floor, I think, is currently would be just for the scholarship itself. If we need to address travel, David, how has that been handled in the past?
So in the past, when we offer a scholarship, it's normally for the registration, the hotel, and mileage.
Okay. So I guess we need to put a dollar. I mean, if we're,
Yeah, so is there a maximum amount that is in that line item already established in the action plan?
yeah, that's a good question.
The lion's share of the grant is written to travel. The budget for the grant is written to travel and what am I trying to say? Conferences. I have to pull up the actual. I apologize.
I'm just wondering if there's a max amount estimate that we could vote on that would help cover registration, travel, lodging for those that might want to attend, since we're down to the wire, and this would be our last opportunity.
I didn't look into this because I live in Region 4, but do they have a hotel block, Darren, or is it people doing it on their own?
Well, I think it might be, I don't know if ICADD officially has a block, but your Spring Hill Suites over on Park Center probably has some rooms available. It's a larger hotel. There's a Holiday Inn Express that's on Park Center. There's also a Courtyard by Marriott, and then downtown Red Lion and some of the other hotels will offer a rate, but I don't think ICADD officially has blocked off any rooms.
Okay.
Mallory, can I ask really quick, and this might be useful in this discussion, but the scholarships from the Behavioral Health Board, they didn't necessarily say they were offering per diem and lodging and mileage, but it was just a set amount.
So yeah, great question, Darren. What we decided to do, our PFS funding, we partnered with the Region 7 Behavioral Health Board, because the Behavioral Health Board can only cover scholarship for registration and no lodging, no per diem, no meals. But what we did is we got it approved that we're working together. So we're covering registration and lodging together. So we aren't covering in our scholarships mileage or meals, but we're using the government rate for Boise for hotels is about 147. And so that's what we calculated. Rebecca, I know you had your hand up, so I don't know if you had anything to include or if you know hotels or some additional details, but we just calculated on that 147. And we calculated off cost of estimating, the 395 rate plus the 147 for those couple nights.
I was just gonna offer up, I'm looking at my budget and I know that I have enough, at least for Region 4, to probably send maybe 3 more people at the full rate, but ours is also just a reimbursement of registration only. So I don't know if there's a way that people could like double dip, like they could maybe get travel and hotel, because Region 4 is pretty big. It's not the biggest of all the regions, but for Shannon, for example, to drive from Valley County and back and stay. So I don't know if that would help save money from the CCI budget, if I could help pay for some more registration scholarships, and then you all could just pay for hotel and per diem, well, not per diem, I guess, because there's food at the conference probably, but
Yeah,
just
so
putting that up.
I was looking at, so we have budgeted for both the prevention conference that's happening with State Department of Education plus ICADD, and if I combine those two budgets, it's $11,110.
Why don't we just approve spending up to that much money, see who applies, and divide the money evenly among the regions based on how they applied? Does that make sense? Because if that's the maximum amount we have to spend, that's the most that we could approve, and then get people to apply. Like I know from Region 7, there's only like one person from BYDC that would even be available to go, and we can probably cover, I don't know. Anyway, that would just be my thought is, if we want to offer the scholarships, we need to make a decision. My thought would be, look at what the maximum amount, just say that we'll offer scholarships, see who applies, and divvy up the money that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I apologize for not having a dollar amount attached to the agenda. So do you want to see if there's any more discussion and see if Grace wants to amend her motion?
Did you want to go ahead and amend your motion, Grace?
I amend my motion.
Okay, so the motion on the floor would be.
I amend my second.
Who was that?
Jeri, she's saying she's still seconds.
This is Jeri, I amended my second.
All right, so but we have to, let's just be really clear what it is that we're voting on. So that CCI would offer scholarships for registration and travel up to $11,110 total, and everyone would need to apply. Is that what everyone agrees that the motion is?
When you say travel, are you talking mileage or are you talking lodging? Because the federal travel mileage reimbursement is 57 cents a mile, and that would you eat up. And I'm not saying yes or no, but that could eat up a lot of dollars quickly.
Yes, but I think that you're going to have to, if we had one person from each coalition apply, I really don't know how you divide it up and how you make it fair. Because like coming from, I'll be honest, coming from East Idaho, mileage alone for a trip to Boise is about $350.
That's what you reimbursed on the federal per diem or the federal mileage rate, but some like ODP in the past has offered up to certain reimbursement for travel. They don't reimburse on the mileage rate per se, but they might do up to a certain dollar amount for travel and lodging. So people could, you know, share rides. It would encourage that. So that's kind of what I was wondering. Sorry to complicate things, but having this discussion now rather than later is probably useful.
Yeah, it is. And Chloe, do you remember what mileage we used? I know since Chloe and I have been doing this, we've always done mileage for things when we offer these. And I think it's at the federal rate, right? Is she?
Yeah, we've always done it at the federal rate.
So maybe what you need to do is when people apply, have them say, I need a registration fee, I need mileage, and it's going to be this number of dollars, and I need, and then I think that Mallory's idea of the hotel room rate at the 147 or whatever it is for the federal rate for Boise makes sense, and just say, okay, well, this is what we can do. And then that way you accommodate for the people that are coming from farther away. People that live already in Ada County or in that surrounding area, their mileage is going to be considerably less, and many of them won't need a hotel room. So, but I don't know how else you can really do it that makes it fair unless we had some sort of bans or something like that they do for other conferences that say, if you live here, you get this much if you live there, but we don't have time to we don't have that together. And so I think you just have to stick with the mileage.
And we do have a form that they will be filling out so that all the costs that they are asking for are laid out clearly. So
I think that sounds reasonable. And then we'll just have to make a decision. If we get more applicants than we have money, then we'll have to make a decision of who gets what. But I think we've had to do that before, so it should be fine. All right, any more discussion, or can we take a vote? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstains? Hearing none, the motion passes. All right. I had to switch to my phone because apparently our internet here in the building has gone down. So it happens when it's windy. Is there anything else that we need to cover, or I feel like we're way past when we should be done?
we're 5 minutes past. No, we're good. We just the next meeting is May 2nd, and need a motion to adjourn.
I motion.
Kendall seconds.
All righty, all in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, this meeting is adjourned. David, how long did you want me to wait before I called you? You said you wanted to talk to me.